All of the positions in this lesson are less stable than the prone position, and it's impossible to hold the rifle perfectly still when aiming. An area aim on target as opposed to a point of aim has to be accepted. The size of the area aim will depend on the stability of the position being used and the time available for the shot. This area will decrease in size with practice as the soldier's shooting muscles develop and reflex actions speed up. When deployed under operational conditions or on a field firing range, it's often impossible to engage targets from the prone position. The soldier must learn to adopt either the kneeling, sitting, squatting, or standing position according to the nature of the ground and the target. With practice, it's possible to make an immediate decision as to which is the most suitable in each instance. Whatever the position adopted, the actions on receiving the order ready are the same as for the prone position. The kneeling position can be adopted quickly and easily, particularly when advancing. It's convenient when using low cover. It provides reasonable stability and can be maintained for lengthy periods without undue discomfort. Face half right to the line of fire. Kneel on the right knee, keeping it well out to the right and, if possible, sit on the heel or the side of the foot. Rest the left forearm behind or in front of the left knee and the butt on the right thigh. This is known as the rest position. On a range being ordered, set the sight, cock the weapon, and put the selector lever on S. On the command watch and shoot, adopt the alert position. Bring the butt into the shoulder and move the selector lever to R. The left foot is turned inwards to lock the lower part of the foot and reduce movement. The left knee is under the rifle and the butt is higher in the shoulder than in the prone position. The weight of the body is taken over the right heel. The sitting position is useful when firing from a forward slope, in low scrub, in a night ambush, or at moving targets at short ranges. Sit with the legs crossed or apart and place the feet in a comfortable position. The rifle is held as in the kneeling position. On a range being ordered, set the sight, cock the weapon, and put the selector lever on S. On the command watch and shoot, adopt the alert position. Bring the butt into the shoulder and move the selector lever to R. Place the elbows in front of or on the inside of the knees. The standing position is used primarily when firing from behind high cover, in a trench, or during an advance to contact when targets are engaged quickly. Adopt the standing load position. On a range being ordered, set the sight, cock the weapon, and put the selector lever on S. On the command watch and shoot, adopt the alert position. Bring the butt into the shoulder and move the selector lever to R, muzzle pointing forward and down. The handguard is held and the body leans slightly forward in the direction of the target. The squatting position is useful for firing from mud, shallow water, and in open country where other firing positions may not easily be adopted. Some difficulty may be experienced in adopting the position, but continued practice will enable the firer to adopt the position to suit his build. To use the squatting position, halt with the feet 100 to 400 millimeters apart and drop down onto the haunches into a natural squatting position. The body is to be about 535 mils, or 30 degrees, to the line of fire. The left foot may point at the target. The backs of the thigh rest against the backs of the calf. Allow the knee to bend to their full extent. Any tension in the thighs will cause undue strain to the calf muscles. Adjustments for direction onto the target are quickly and easily achieved by moving the right foot either to the left front or the right rear. Muscle relaxation in the legs is most important in this position, and experimentation may be necessary to suit the individual firer. Adjustment of the position could entail raising the right or both heels slightly from the ground, ensuring the weight is evenly distributed on the balls of the feet. Some firers may prefer the inside of the right foot to be flat on the ground. No matter which position is adopted in relation to available cover, the 4 marksmanship principles are to be applied. Remember, a change of firing position can affect accuracy. A weapon is useful only if it's operational. To better ensure that your weapon is capable of carrying out its purpose, it's necessary for you, the firer, to understand how the rifle works and why stoppages occur. In this way, you will be better equipped to remedy stoppages and get the rifle firing again as soon as possible. If the rifle fails to fire or stops firing, the immediate action is to cant the rifle to the left and look in the injection port at the position of the bolt. If the bolt is at the rear, check for an empty magazine and change magazines. Operate the bolt catch and strike the forward assist assembly, and re-aim and continue firing. If the bolt is fully forward, physically check the magazine to ensure it's fully seated and locked in place. Cock the rifle and watch for the ejection of a round or empty casing. If a round or empty casing is ejected, strike the forward assist assembly. Re-aim and carry on firing. If no empty case or round is ejected, attempt to continue firing. If the rifle fails to fire, further action must be taken. If the bolt carrier is partially forward, cock the weapon and push in the bolt catch. Examine the body and chamber of the weapon. If a live round or empty case is in the body or chamber, remove the magazine. Clear the obstruction. Replace the magazine. Operate the bolt catch and strike the forward assist. Re-aim and continue firing. And if the body and chamber are clear, operate the bolt catch. Strike the forward assist. Re-aim. Continue firing. If an obstruction in the chamber cannot be removed during the initial remedial action, or the chamber is being repeatedly obstructed, or the weapon is hard to cock, or will not fire after carrying out initial remedial action, unload the weapon, remove the takedown pin, and remove the bolt carrier and bolt. Examine the extractor. Ejector test the firing pin protrusion. And if any faults are found, engage a weapons technician to remedy them. If the chamber does not appear to be obstructed and there are no broken parts, examine it for a separated case. If one is found, consult the weapons technician. It is essential that the gas receiver and the rear of the gas tube are cleaned regularly. If this is not done, There is a possibility that these two parts may become fused together with a round in the chamber. This will mean either that the weapon will not cock after firing the first round, or that the round in the chamber cannot be unloaded by cocking. As soon as possible, strip the rifle and clean the gas-affected parts. Regular care and maintenance play a vital role in keeping his weapon operational. In battle or during range work, the strength and direction of the wind have a direct influence on the flight of the bullet. It is essential that the soldier make allowances to counter this influence and ensure a first-round hit. It is also important to know how to react should the shot miss the target. Figure 11 targets are 1145 millimeters, or 45 inches high, and 450 millimeters, or 18 inches wide. Figure 12 targets are 570 millimeters, or 22 inches high, and 450 millimeters, 18 inches wide. It is important that the firer know the dimensions of the figure 11 target. The center of the visible mass, the crotch area, is normally the area selected as the point of aim. There are 3 areas above the point of aim which can be used to adjust fire. The hand at 150 millimeters, or 6 inches, the chin at 300 millimeters, or 12 inches, and the rim of the helmet at 450 millimeters, or 18 inches. Below the point of aim are another 3 reference points: the crotch at 150 millimeters, or 6 inches, the knee at 300 millimeters, or 12 inches, and the ankle at 450 millimeters, or 18 inches. Knowing these dimensions on a figure 11 target is an aid when altering points of aim at longer ranges. Errors in elevation and direction can be overcome by changing the point of aim. If from the point of aim the shot is seen to be high, 300 millimeters, and to the left 100 millimeters, re-aim low, 300 millimeters, and right 100 millimeters of the original point of aim. Only a wind blowing across the front will make a bullet veer considerably from its flight path. To allow for this, aim off into the wind. The direction of the wind can be determined by its effect on the face, trees, dust, or smoke. The amount to aim off is determined by the strength of the wind. For ranges of 100 meters or less, no aim off is required. In windy conditions at ranges greater than 100 meters, the following points of aim relative to a figure 11 target should be used. A fresh wind, 10 kilometers per hour, would cause range flags to stand about halfway out from the pole. To adjust your aim, select a point of aim halfway between the center and the edge of the target at 200 meters and at the edge of the target at 300 meters. A strong wind of 20 kilometers per hour would cause range flags to strain away from their poles. The adjusted point of aim for this condition would be the edge of the target at 200 meters and 1 target width from the center of the target at 300 meters. In the event of continually missing the target, increase the aim off to the edge of the target and fire. If still a miss, aim and fire at the base of the target and adjust the point of aim from the observation of the strike. Wind is a variable factor which can affect the mean point of impact of your rounds. Knowing proper drills for the various wind conditions, as well as what to do in the case of a miss, will give you more confidence when firing your weapon, as well as increase the probability of a first round hit. In this video, you will be shown methods of carrying the rifle and how to fire at close quarters. When moving in close country, on patrol, or in a built-up area, the enemy may fire and attack at close quarters. In such situations, it is the quickness and accuracy of the first shots which gain success. The soldier is, therefore, to carry his rifle in a ready state and in a manner best suited to the type of terrain over which he is moving. The high port, alert, and low port are firing positions which can be maintained for extended periods. The cradle carry provides a semi-alert position which can be maintained for longer periods as the butt of the weapon is supported on the forearm. The delay in bringing the weapon into aim from this position is only fractionally longer than from the alert position. As the butt is placed outside the elbow, it enables the soldier wearing a fragmentation vest to bring the weapon directly to the shoulder without extending the arms to avoid the configuration of the vest. The position of high port is used when going through scrub or when crossing obstacles. If the soldier stumbles using this position, the muzzle of the rifle will not get entangled, become filled with dirt, or point at his comrades. To assume the position of high port, bring the rifle up across the body. Left hand on the handguard. Right hand around the pistol grip and barrel pointing upwards. Move the selector to S and place the finger outside the trigger guard. The alert position is adopted when expecting the enemy to appear and is an easy position to maintain while the soldier is observing his arc of fire. To adopt the alert position, push the selector lever to R. Bring the butt of the rifle into the shoulder with the muzzle pointing downwards. Each soldier is responsible for the safe handling of his rifle and is to move the selector lever to S when necessary. The low port position is used when the tactical situation does not necessitate the use of the high port or alert positions, and in particular, on internal security operations when one hand is required for searching personnel, checking documents, or moving barriers. Hold the rifle by the pistol grip, finger outside the trigger guard, selector lever at S, with the barrel pointing upwards and the heel of the butt resting on the waist. When a soldier is on the move, either in an advance or on a patrol, he must be prepared to fire from a variety of positions. He may move his selector lever to R or A in anticipation of the rate of fire to be utilized. If hand-to-hand combat is anticipated, bayonets may be fixed to the rifle. It should be remembered that accuracy is affected when firing with the bayonet fixed, and that it's necessary to aim slightly low at close-range targets. Once the enemy has been located, the ideal is to hit with the first shot, 2 or more shots in rapid succession or double taps will improve the chances of a kill. Having fired, the soldier will immediately take evasive action and go to cover to continue the engagement. Remember, firing bursts will cause the weapon to fire higher than normal after the first shot. If a soldier has to remedy a stoppage or change magazines, this should be done from behind cover. Ensure you check your ammunition before continuing the advance. The method of carrying the rifle will be dependent on the situation and the terrain. A soldier must be able to bring his weapon into action quickly and accurately and make the best use of available cover to ensure survivability and success. Most shots fired under operational conditions will be against moving targets, and most frequently from the standing or kneeling position when in close country or urban areas and during the advance and attack. It is important that soldiers know what allowances to make for target movement and the techniques used to apply them in any firing position. Frequent practice is required to achieve and maintain a high degree of skill in engaging moving targets. When a shot is fired at a moving target, the target continues to move during the time of flight of the bullet. To allow for this movement, it is necessary to aim in front of the target. Otherwise, shots will fall behind it. This aiming in front to anticipate the movement of a target is known as lead. The amount of lead necessary will depend upon the speed, range, and direction of movement. A running man will require more lead than a man walking. A target moving obliquely across the front will require less lead than a direct crossing target, and a target advancing head-on or moving away from the firer requires no lead at all. The further the target is away, the greater is the lead required to allow for its movement. Soldiers must acquire the feel for the correct lead necessary to hit moving targets under varying conditions, and this proficiency will only be achieved by frequent practice. A moving target can only be effectively engaged when the correct lead or point of aim has been taken. There are two methods of engaging moving targets: the basic method and the ambush. With the basic method, the firer comes into the aim behind the target and swings through the target to the leading edge. Without checking the swing, open fire and, if necessary, increase the lead while firing a series of shots. Continue to fire until the target is hit or goes to the ground. If it is difficult to swing with the target, as from a prone or sitting position where both elbows are rested, the ambush method is used. With this method, the firer selects a point of aim ahead of the target and comes into the aim. commence firing prior to the target reaching the selected point of aim, and continue firing until the target is hit, goes to the ground, or the selected point of aim falls behind the target. Operational conditions may not allow the soldier to use the sights of a weapon. In this situation, the shotgun technique should be used. The soldier has both eyes open, head well up, and concentrating on the target, not on the barrel line. This technique can be effective up to 150 meters. The success a soldier experiences in hitting a moving target is based on how quick and accurate are the estimate of the range, angle, and speed of that target. These skills can only be achieved by constant practice. In the defense, fighting is normally done from a fire trench. In the attack, or when patrolling, the soldier makes the best use of cover for protection from the enemy and to provide a concealed fire position. When using cover, always try to rest the forearm for more accurate shooting. If this is not possible, then rest the rifle on the cover as close to the hand as possible. Do not rest the barrel of the weapon on the cover, as this will cause the shots fired to be displaced. No matter how cover is used, the 4 marksmanship principles must still be applied to bring effective fire on the target. When selecting a fire position, there are several factors to consider. The ideal fire position is one which allows the soldier free use of a personal weapon and grenades, provides cover from artillery and small arms fire, and also gives cover from view, and enables an unobstructed view of a wide arc of fire. The trench is the basic fighting position used in the defense. To get the best position, use the right corner of the trench. Place both elbows on the elbow rest and forearm against the cover. Left-handed firers use the left corner. If the trench is shallow, kneeling, squatting, or standing with the feet apart will lower the position. If the trench is deep, standing on an ammunition box or sandbag will help. When on the move, either in the attack or on patrol, it's important for the soldier to realize that cover from view does not necessarily mean cover from fire. When firing from scrub, the squatting or kneeling position may be used for short periods. If the position is to be occupied for some time, use the sitting position, which is the least tiring. Sometimes firing from the lower branches of large trees provides a better view of the arc of fire. When using low banks and folds in the ground for cover, to obtain maximum protection, muzzle clearance is kept as close to the top of the bank or the crest of the fold as possible. The shape of the ground may necessitate lying at a greater angle to the line of fire than is normal. In street fighting, walls and houses provide useful cover for fire positions. The use of cover will slow the tempo of battle and often allow the soldier to take deliberate aimed shots. By resting the forearm whenever possible, the firing position will be more stable, and the accuracy of the shooting will be increased. Bayonet fighting is a quick, instinctive skill with each situation encountered likely to demand variations in technique. Speed and vigor are more important than technical perfection, and each soldier will have to develop a style to suit their size and build. The threat or use of a bayonet in a close-quarter battle situation can have a considerable effect on the enemy's morale. The first drill demonstrated is the on-guard position, which is adopted when the enemy position is approached in an assault or when about to attack the enemy with the bayonet. To adopt the on-guard position, grip the rifle firmly by the pistol grip and handguard. Point the bayonet at the enemy and adopt a natural fighting attitude. The thrust is used against a standing enemy at a distance of approximately 2 meters. From the on-guard position, bring the rear foot forward or jump with both feet and thrust the rifle forward, sticking the bayonet into the enemy with the whole weight of the body behind the rifle. To withdraw the bayonet, pull the rifle straight back until the bayonet is out. Resume the on-guard position and advance. If the enemy is on the ground, parry the enemy's rifle to the left or right using the boot. If practicable, stand on the weapon. Thrust the rifle forward and down using the whole body weight. Be sure to keep both feet clear of the enemy. To withdraw the bayonet, pull the rifle straight back. It may be necessary to stamp one foot on the enemy near the bayonet. Resume the on-guard position and advance. If a number of enemy are encountered, thrust at the nearest enemy. If the next is out of range, punch forward on guard. Advance and thrust again. If the enemy is so close that you are unable to come on guard, thrust, withdraw, and advance. When assaulting an enemy position with the bayonet, the order may be given to fire during the last few meters when the rifle is held in the on-guard position. The purpose of such firing is to keep the enemy's head down after the supporting fire has ceased or has been switched. There is a tendency to shoot high, so try to keep the muzzle slightly down when firing. Continue firing on the move until gaining the enemy position or until ordered to stop. When the enemy attacks with the bayonet, be aggressive. Make an opening and kill the enemy. If the enemy's bayonet is directed to the right of the rifle, parry the thrust by straightening the left arm vigorously, thus fending off his bayonet. Point your bayonet at the enemy. Thrust, withdraw, come on guard, and advance. If the enemy attacks to the left, beat off the thrust to the left. Move in. Continue the swing of the rifle and strike the enemy on the head with the butt or pistol grip, knocking him to the ground. Thrust, withdraw, come on guard, and advance. When the enemy attacks with the bayonet, be aggressive in response. If he parries your weapon to the right, release the handguard and use the left hand to either block his next move or strike at his face or throat. If feasible, follow up with a knee to his groin. Regain control of the weapon and continue. If the enemy parries your weapon to the left, strike a disabling blow to his face with the butt of the weapon and continue. Variations in technique will be developed by the individual as they become more familiar with the art of bayonet fighting. But regardless of the technique used, speed and vigor in the attack are the key ingredients to success. Owing to the high speed of aircraft, it is essential that fire is delivered quickly and with reasonable accuracy. Rifle fire, collectively controlled, is an effective deterrent against low-flying aircraft. Enemy aircraft are to be engaged only when an order to do so has been given, and then subject to the following conditions. The aircraft is recognizable by its markings as an enemy aircraft. The aircraft is seen to attack a ground target. And the aircraft, excluding light aircraft and helicopters, dives onto an object. Light aircraft and helicopters are excluded because friendly aircraft are liable to fly anywhere without notice and may dive suddenly in order to take evasive action. Sighting of suspected enemy light aircraft or helicopters is to be reported immediately. Aircraft over 610 meters, or 2,000 feet, are not to be engaged. As a rough guide to estimating height, at over 610 meters, not much more than a silhouette is visible, whereas below that height, details become distinct. Once an enemy aircraft is spotted, the command aircraft action is given. Adopt the high port position, or, if applicable, hold the rifle as for the high port, and adopt the kneeling position, sitting back on the right heel. Keep the upper part of the left arm parallel or higher to the ground. This will help ensure low firing, which could endanger friendly forces, does not occur. Set the sights for maximum range and move the selector lever to auto. If the aircraft is approaching head-on, the command aircraft front is given. Raise the rifle quickly into the shoulder and aim at the center of the aircraft. On the command bursts, fire approximately 15 rounds per burst. If the safety angle cannot be maintained, stop firing and adopt the high port position. On the command stop, stop firing, but do not put the selector lever to S. On the command cease firing, return to the high port position and make safe. If the aircraft is crossing, the command aircraft left or aircraft right bursts is given. Set sights for maximum range and move the selector switch to auto. Swing the rifle quickly in the same direction as the aircraft movement, passing through and beyond the aircraft until a lead of at least 216 mils or 12 degrees has been established. The spread of 4 fingers at arm's length is approximately 200 mils. Maintain the swing and fire a long burst. Actions on stop, cease firing, and for maintaining safety angle are the same as those taken for head-on aircraft. If the aircraft is approaching from behind, the command aircraft right, left, about is given by the section commander. Turn quickly, pivoting on the right leg in the direction named, and aim according to the flight path of the aircraft. Safety of surrounding friendly troops must always be considered. Prevent low firing by keeping the upper left arm parallel to the ground, and be aware of your surroundings when engaging crossing aircraft. Due to the high speed of today's aircraft, the soldier will have only a few seconds to deliver quick and reasonably accurate fire. Individual fire may not be a threat, but this fire, collectively controlled, can be an effective deterrent.